Hey guys, what is up? It's me. I'm back with another rant video, and I'm very nervous about this one. It's a very serious one. It is definitely going to be controversial, and I am honestly kind of terrified to talk about it because it's just such a sensitive topic, especially nowadays. In this video, I'm going to be discussing the use of the N-word. Those who are not people of color using the N-word, as well as racism, as well as segregation, things like that. Yeah, just a lot of very serious things, and I'm not a serious channel, so this is so out of my comfort zone. It's a really big deal to me, so I decided to make a video on it. This is going to revolve around Queen and Michael Jackson, but particularly Queen more than anything, but Michael is mentioned in this as well. So honestly, this all started from Twitter drama. I'm not actively involved in the Twitter drama, but I did make a comment about it. Usually Twitter drama and like canceling people and things like that, I just don't really pay attention to because I think it's so common to cancel people nowadays that I don't really focus on it, because I think some of it is pretty ridiculous how quick people get canceled and things like that. People forget that they're standing human beings. You know, human beings make mistakes. Some mistakes are way bigger than others, but regardless, like, you have to remember that who you stand has probably been problematic at one time, if not every now and then, because there's no such thing as a perfect unproblematic person. Not using that as an excuse, that's a fact, you know. This just really struck a chord with me because it is talking about two of my favorite people, Michael Jackson and Freddie Mercury, as well as I would say Queen. Okay, so I logged on to Twitter and I found out that people were talking about the song March of the Black Queen by Queen, and many people are just now discovering that Freddie Mercury uses the N-word in that song. What's crazy is that I knew about this many months ago. I actually made a subliminal message video about it. After I made that video, I was waiting for people to come for Queen stans and, you know, like, just really, you know, let Freddie have it. And like, rightfully so, you know, I myself, a Queen stan, was in shock. I knew that people would be offended and I had no problem with that. It's been months later since I posted that video and now people are finally talking about it. I have no problem with people talking about it, but I will say, like, it got pretty out of hand very quickly. Of course, because of this, drama has happened not only with Queen fans, but Queen and Michael fans, and honestly just like Queen fans as well as like people who stan black artists, and I totally understand why. He did use the N-word. It is proven. If you look up lyric videos on YouTube, the official Queen lyrics for March of the Black Queen, you will not see the N-word in it. But if you look it up online, you will see it. And if you listen to the song, you will hear it. And some Queen fans have tried to debunk Freddie using the N-word. It's there, and as a Queen fan, as a Queen stan, you know, I'm not gonna deny that. Before I go any further with this, I just want to say that I do not support Freddie using the N-word, and I never will. That is very problematic of Freddie. I am not going to defend him for what he did because there's just no way to defend that. He shouldn't have done it. There's no excuse for that. Even if it was a different time in history, there's no excuse for that. He shouldn't have done it. So please don't think that this video I'm gonna say, oh, you know, I just love Freddie so he can use the N-word. Absolutely not. I do not support that at all. I never will. So just wanted to make that very clear before I continue with this, because I really don't want anyone thinking that just because I stan Freddie and Queen that I'm gonna let them get away with that, because it's not okay. I don't care who you are. I don't care how talented you are. I don't care how great of a person you are. That's just not okay. So anyways, moving on. This is where I feel like it just got completely out of hand. Michael stans coming after Queen stans, saying, if you stan Michael, you have no right to stan Queen because Queen used the N-word in a song, and Michael is a black artist, and Michael was very much against racism and against racial slurs. So if you support a band that does that, you shouldn't be a Michael stan, or you should just not stan Queen, or else you're trash. Coming from someone who was standing Michael before I was even standing Queen, I have always been very sensitive to racism, to racial slurs, to, you know, injustice for the black community. That stuff means a lot to me. Even as a white person, that is so important to me, that we all are equal no matter what race, no matter where we come from. That is so crucial to me. So to sit here and come after not only me, but literally the entire Queen fandom for who they decide to stan is fucking ridiculous. This is a great question. How do you stan Michael Jackson and support racism? You don't. That's not possible. Michael was all for racial equality, racial justice for the Black community. I follow so many strictly Queen accounts on so many different social media platforms, and me personally, I have only seen one Queen account try to defend Freddie using the N-word, saying that it's okay, saying that, oh, you know, this, that, and the other, trying to make it seem okay. And people will pay attention to that one person that said that said it was okay, and they will try to make it seem like the whole Queen fandom is saying that's okay, when in reality it was just one person that said, oh, you know, Freddie didn't mean to, Freddie this, that, and the other. That is not fair to the rest of the Queen fandom, who have been very open about saying that they do not support Freddie using the N-word or racism or racial slurs in general. It's just important to remember that before you say something, before you call people out, especially a whole fandom, you have to do your research and realize who's saying what before you put words in other people's mouth. Because it's scary to stand a group and then people think you're racist because you stand that group because of what one person said. So the next thing I'm going to say, again, is not trying to defend Freddie for using the N-word, but just to give you kind of a reason why I have always appreciated Queen, and it has to do with the Hot Space album. If you don't know about the Hot Space album, basically it is Queen's most underrated album. The biggest reason why it didn't do so well in the charts is because it is very different than what Queen would typically do. It's not a very rock-based album, it's more of like a disco funk kind of sound. I've always really appreciated that album because first of all, I love the album. But second of all, I appreciate it because Queen did something so different. They didn't know if it was going to do well, and yet they still did it anyways. Particularly John and Freddie really, loved this album and had a lot of faith in it. And this album was 100% inspired by Black artists. When I think of, disco and funk music, I can't help but think of Black artists because they literally invented disco and funk music. They are the reason why that exists. Most music we listen to, it would not be what it is now without Black artists, and I'm very aware of that. So to see Queen do an album that was so influenced by Black artists and it not do well and them still be happy with the result, I don't see how you could sit here with your whole chest and say that Queen is racist, say that Freddie's racist, when he had such an appreciation for all types of Black artists. I don't really have anything else to say except something that genuinely shocks me. The fact that people are not talking about the time that Queen played a good bit of shows at a place called Sun City in South Africa. At the time they were playing there was apartheid, meaning that segregation was going on, yet they still performed at the shows. Brian, I believe it was Brian, said that they played there because they didn't want to discriminate and they wanted to play everywhere they could, even if that meant a segregated area. And that makes no sense because you're not playing for everyone, it's segregated. I still will never understand that, so if anyone would like to explain that to me. So yeah, as a Queen stan, I can sit here and say that Queen has made mistakes, and honestly, they've made plenty of them. Are some of them, like the ones I've talked about in this video, pretty major? Absolutely. I'm not gonna sit here and say that Queen is just unproblematic and that, they haven't done anything in their life to hurt a fly, because they have, and I acknowledge that. I feel like a part of standing someone is realizing that and being honest about that. So, making this video I feel like was really important just so you guys could know where I stand on these things. I know this video is a lot to probably take in. I really hope that I don't offend anyone. That's not my goal. I should have a more fun video up next time I upload, so I hope you guys enjoy that. But I really do love doing these rants because I think it's fun, but I also think it is needed as well. Love you guys. Bye!